Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith and you're watching another video here on the channel. This is a very important video and you know it. This is my top 10 reads from 2022. This is an exciting video and I have exactly 10 books, which never happens. Let me tell you how I got to where I am right now. I scoured through all of my 5-star reads from this year, of which there were 33. I then pared those down because a lot of those were rereads and I didn't want to talk about rereads because otherwise I would be talking about the same favourite books every single year, and you can just go back and watch my previous best books videos if you're interested in that. Then I had 11 books remaining, but then I realised that one of those books is a Harper Voyager book, and I do not think that strike will be done by the time this video goes up, so that was nice. We whittled it down to 10 books. I have 8 of them physically, I have 2 of them as ebooks, and I'm excited to talk about all of them with you. So before we start, some quick disclaimers. Some of these books were sent to me for free for review. That's not changing my opinions on them. Nobody's paying me to talk about books. All the thoughts are my own thoughts, which I think you'll probably be able to tell by how much waffling is going to be in this video. Let's get started. I'm going to kick it off with the 2 books that I don't own physically, just so we can get that editing bit out of the way. The first of which is The River of Silver by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the 4th-ish 3.5. It's a short story collection in the Daverbad trilogy. I actually had an audiobook review copy of this and I absolutely loved it. And the only reason I haven't bought myself a copy yet is because I'm waiting for it to come out in paperback, because I have all the other paperbacks of the series and I would like them to match. This is a really lovely short story collection, some of which I had actually read before because S.A. Chakraborty released them on her website, and then they came off the website and they went into the collection, but it just fleshes out some of the world, some of the characters a little bit more. Some of them read a little bit fanfiction-y, but who am I to deny that I read fanfiction? I had a great time with this. I thought it was just lovely. If you already love the Daverbad series, this is going to be a book that absolutely smashes it for you. If you haven't already read the other books, you absolutely should. They certainly have shown up in favourite videos of the past. It's just one of my absolute favourite series, and I'm really excited for her new series that starts next year. In some contexts, I think that short story collections of this kind can feel kind of cash grabby, but I've actually had a couple of successful ones this year. It's not on this list, but I did enjoy Gleanings by Neil Shusterman. I'm trying to think of another good example, but I haven't got one. I think that in this case, it really felt like these were stories that added to the world rather than just feeling like, well, I had these deleted scenes. Do people want to pay $17.99 for them? You know? The other digital book that I want to talk about is Long Shadow by Olivia Atwater. This is part of the Regency Fairy Tales series, a series that I already know I love. I can't remember, I think I must have read Half a Soul back in 2021, or I feel like it would be on this list. I did a nice reread of the series to get ready to read this 3rd book, and I absolutely loved it. I had been sitting on this book waiting to finish it, waiting to tick it off my series tracker for such a long time, and I don't know why I didn't get to it sooner, but that's how it panned out. This basically was everything I wanted in that it was still a Regency fairy tale romance. Hello, we love it, but it was also about death and gay. And really, could you get anything more on the nose for me? In any way, shape or form. It was so good. It's so well written. This whole series is fantastic. If you want cozy fantasy, romance, fae, but like in a good way, so much goodness to it. So great. They're politically motivated, but not in a way that feels really preachy. Just, I had the best time with this series as a whole, and Long Shadow was for sure a 5-star read for me. I do need to buy physical copies of all of those books. Mental note for me. We now move on to my physical copies. This is in no particular order. It's literally just how they are positioned next to me. I have the Oleander Sword by Tasha Suri. This is the sequel to The Jasmine Throne, which was an exceptional book from last year, and I was really excited to get a review copy of this so I could read it a little bit early. I had such a good time with this. I think The Jasmine Throne is a really good book, don't get me wrong, but I think it is a little bit confusing, especially at the start, figuring out which characters are throw-in perspectives where you just get a chapter and then you move away, and which characters are characters you need to follow. By book 2, they've figured that out. As in, you as a reader have figured that out, I should say. I don't think it's the book's fault, but it's just much better paced, I think. The actual plot is really, really interesting. It's spooky, it's gay again, it's fascinating, and I'm really, really excited for the next book in this series. I just think this was a fantastic sequel that is being... Not enough people are talking about this, basically. You should read this. If you liked The Jasmine Throne, I suspect that you will enjoy The Oleander Sword even more. I love this so much, and I can't talk to you about the plot without spoiling the first book, so we should probably move on, but oh, this was so good. 5 stars, 5 stars. These are all 5 stars. I don't know why I need to say it. I'm going to start repairing these on my shelves, because I had to pull everything apart in order to set up this video. You may begin to suspect a theme to do with things that I've enjoyed this year, but we have more gay romance. This is The Red Scholar's Wake by Aliette de Bodard. This is their newest book. It came out only in November, so this was a late addition to this list. I thought this was fantastic. Lesbian, space, pirates, one of whom is an AI. Oh, It's fantastic. It's so good. I really like this. I thought it was just the right length. In it we have a main character who is sort of marriage of not necessarily convenience. It's also not forced marriage, but it kind of is. But bear with me. To a leader of the Red Pirate Fleet, who is actually the ship. And it's complicated to explain, but she's a spaceship and a person. Don't worry about it too much. And they end up having to solve the mystery of who killed the ship Ricefish's previous wife. And it's just so well written. It was exactly what I needed at the time. It was a sort of weirdly relaxing and yet intense book. And it just towed that line of this is a romance, but also this has plot in a way that I absolutely adored. Fantastic. Would read again. Want to reread right now, honestly. I actually only have a couple of books on this list that aren't new releases. I didn't read a lot of backlist new stuff this year, or certainly if I did, it didn't always get 5 stars. But this is When the Moon Was Ours by A.M. McLemore. This is the only A.M. McLemore of that project that I gave 5 stars to. I thought this was fantastic. Some of that's very specific. I talk about that a lot in the video where I go through, oh no, I didn't actually post that video where I went through all of them because I lost the edit. Well, I have a review video up for just this one book, so you can check that if you would like to. I just think this is absolutely lovely. In it we have a romance between 2 characters in this sort of small town environment. One of them paints moons, glorious moons. The other one has roses that grow out of her wrist. It's very magical realism. I don't think that should come as a surprise. And we have sort of mean girl villains, but I'm making it sound much more teen drama than it is. I loved the prose of this. The prose is absolutely beautiful. I sobbed. I genuinely sobbed reading this. It hit really close to home. It was just absolutely stunning. This is my, if you're going to read A.M. McLemore and you want their fairy tale stuff, this is what you need. This is what you should put into your face immediately. The other non-new release for this year was The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong. This is so good. Actually, I should say, if you want to read this, if you're thinking about picking this up and you're like, do I want to read this? I will say that I have friends who've absolutely loved this, and I have friends for whom this has been exactly what they don't want, and I'm sorry it's so shiny in the light. Start it, see how you go, don't fully commit until you know it's something you love. I did the audiobook for this, and I think that was 100% the right decision for me, and I just remember having a huge emotional connection to this book in a way that I really wasn't expecting. I was wandering the fields, having a little cry. Another theme of this, a lot of these books did make me shed a tear or two. I just thought this was a fantastic narrative about propaganda and war and family and patriarchy and the, I nearly said the benefits of that. I mean the cons of that, obviously. And just such a great story. And one thing that I really liked about this was actually the action sequences. I think that the fight scenes are really clear, and it's one of those books that I now hold as okay, I can enjoy fight scenes and I can enjoy action sequences when they're written well. And this is an example of that for me. Had a great time, would definitely recommend, but give it a go for yourself. Another one that will come as absolutely no surprise to anyone, we have Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. This is one of my favourite books of the year. These are all some of my favourite books of the year. What am I talking about? But I think if I were ranking this list, this would be up near the top. This is an original fairy tale. This features just amazing characters. It has that perfect blend of fairy tale elements and more morbid ideas. One of the characters is a grave witch, which is a thing in this world. So good. I think that this just, I remember reading it and thinking, this is what a good book is for me. And I'm so excited for more T. Kingfisher next year. I feel like they're just hitting a stride that everything they're writing at the moment, I am loving. And I just want more people to read this and more people to enjoy it. And it's just have a great time. Yeah, we have a grave witch, a reluctant fairy godmother, a strapping former knight, and a chicken possessed by a demon. If that adventuring party does not bring you excitement, I don't know what will, and I think you might be dead inside. I will also say there's nothing wrong with being dead inside, but just, maybe think about it. Back in the cozy fantasy realms, we have Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. This was one of the big books of this year. I feel like a lot of people have read this. I have the original self-published edition, which I treasure. I really, really love it. Though I did have a look at the new hardback edition recently, and I was tempted, but I already own it, so I'm trying to be sensible. This is a cozy fantasy book in the best sense. We have a character who decides to set up a coffee shop in their town, having finished adventuring. Basically, if a D&D character were retiring, essentially, and all the problems that come with building that coffee shop. And one of the things I really love about this is the blend of the idea of a modern coffee shop in a fantasy world and the way they explain elements of it, and it's also sapphic, and it's just a lovely time. I'm rereading this next week actually, and I'm so excited to do it because this is exactly what I want right now. There's a reason so many people love this. I had the best time. Yes to Legends and Lattes. Fantastic work. Actually, I'm going to leave this out because I'm rereading this next week. A book that I keep meaning to review and I just haven't got around to it yet, and I think it may now have been too late and it'll have to wait till Overbooked catch up. The World We Make by N.K. Jemisin. This is another sequel. This is the sequel to The City We Became, which looks a little bit like this. I thought this was absolutely fantastic as a sequel. I think that I can see where it was originally meant to be a trilogy and it got kind of condensed down into this book, but I think that does it a what's the opposite of a disservice? It does it a service. It's a great book for that reason. It's really tight. It's just a really enjoyable plot. You can see N.K. Jemisin's love for New York City in this in a big way, but it did exactly what I wanted it to do. I remember at the end of book 1, it's probably in my review video actually, where I said what I really want is to know more about other cities, and this book basically went, oh, that's what you want? Here you go, let me hand it to you, and let me tell you, that never happens. I never get what I want from a sequel in a duology, so to have that happen was just exquisite. This is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't already picked up the series, I highly recommend you do. If you're still hanging around waiting to read book 2 after reading book 1, get on that immediately. It's such a good time. And lastly, I have The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangyu Mandana. This I thought was fantastic. We are fully in the theme of Judith read a lot of cozy fantasy this year. This is very similar to things like House in the Cerulean Sea, that kind of found family, gentle kind of fiction, I think is probably how I would describe it. I love this. In this we have a character who is a witch who essentially gets hired as a caretaker for some young witches in a world where young witches shouldn't really be kept together because some chaotic things can happen. And as I say, we have a found family element. It's a really good book. I had a really good time reading it. I'm so glad Asha recommended it to me. I love this. I want to do a reread of this very soon, and I do intend to, but I can't recommend this highly enough. Please do go get yourself a copy. It's great. I find it very interesting and very telling as to the kind of mental space I've needed this year, that 4 of those 10 books I would definitely describe as like cozy fantasy romance time, found family, gay, yay. That's exactly what I've needed, and that's I'm not surprised at all that that's the case. I don't think anyone would be shocked. As ever, I'm intrigued by when some of these things happened. I can't remember Sword of Kaigen being this year, but it apparently was. I think overall in past years I've not actually done the stats yet. I do need to do a stats video, but I think in past years I've had more 5-star reads as a whole that weren't rereads. I think part of the problem is I reread a lot more this year, at least that's how it feels to me, and also a lot of the new releases I read were just 4 stars. They weren't amazing, but they were good. I haven't had that many bad books this year, as you'll see if you've watched my disappointing books video, but I do think these 10 books are very, very solid. All of them, having now talked about them, do want to do a reread of, and I'm kind of tempted to do a little TBR that's a reread of favourites from the past, perhaps. So maybe we'll do that in the future. What have some of your favourite books of this year been? If you have a video or a blog post or anything and you want to link it below, please do. I would love to check that out. We also have a discussion going on Discord at the moment, which for you is very much in the past, but feel free to reignite it about favourite books. While you're down there commenting, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. It makes me feel loved and appreciated. You can also follow me on social media or come hang out on Discord where we have chill chats about books. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all the ghosts who haunt me over on Patreon. They are the best humans, and in return they get early access to videos, bonus content and live streams. If you would like to join their number, you can check that out down in the link below. Thank you so much for watching. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one. It's gonna be some bloopers now. I should probably talk about what the plot of it was. Should I? I've probably said enough. I can't remember where all of these books were before. That's part of the problem. I should have made notes. But it doesn't want to go back on my shelf because there's too many books on my shelf. It'll have to go down here.